Hey there folks, this is GreenyXI welcoming you right back to Let's Play Higurashi. This is episode 88. In the last episode we finished up chapter 1 and Shion escaped with the help of her bodyguard, Kasai, her protector I think, is what he's meant to be. Yeah, that's about all that's happened in chapter 1, so let's get going, find out more about Shion, about the arrival back home. Let's go. AD 1982. The fifth year of the series of mysterious deaths in Higurashi, also known as Oyashiro Tama's curse, 1 year prior to Kaiichi Maeba's transfer. Exactly, Kaiichi's not even in this arc at the start, at least. I didn't hear a wake-up chime. I'm not in school anymore. My brain's half asleep, but I'm aware of that. Waking up at the same time as the chime would go off at school doesn't feel good. I can't go back to sleep after this. Still, I'm not going to live a torturous school life anymore. I can make today either happy or boring. It's up to me. Yay, that's really positive. Feel like I'm alive for the first time in a while. I didn't have any other clothes, so I was still wearing the school track uniform. It's supposed to have been designed by some famous Italian person, but just looks plain to me. Really doesn't feel great to still be in clothes from that school. I want to enjoy my freedom as soon as possible. I especially don't want to walk around outside wearing it. I should have Kasai bring me some new clothes later. And I should think of redecorating this room. After all, this is going to be my castle from now on. I'm liking having the new protagonist. It was a bit much having the same one all the time, except for having the journalist in the last one, but you know. This is a room in a gorgeous apartment building in the suburbs of Okinomiya. The property is one a realtor in my dad's conglomerate obtained after foreclosure due to some sort of dispute. Most of the residents moved out during that. So while there are plenty of rooms, it's a lonely complex that feels devoid of people. Plus, with the exception of the manager and a scant one or two others, all the residents are shady looking people connected to my dad. It probably won't be much longer before the virtuous residents are driven out. The apartment I'm living in used to be the room they'd used for viewings, so it looks like a room in a business hotel. It's fully furnished, but lacking in daily necessities. I'll buy those things over time though. It's better that way anyway. It'll make it feel more like my own room. I nodded to myself. It might have looked stupid, but it helped psych me up. At the school, there's a TV only in the common room, and we weren't allowed to watch any cable channels. I zapped through all those channels as a form of emancipation. It was early in the morning, so nothing interesting was on. But I enjoyed it anyway. Commercials are fun to watch. Well, Kasai dropped by with lunch right when I started to feel hungry. Good morning, Shion-san. Did you sleep well last night? Sleeping on the couch was a bit too uncomfortable. As a Japanese person, I want to sleep in a futon or on the floor. Oh. Ah, this pickled radish is good. Pickled radish? That sounds disgusting. That's good to hear. Please let me know what you need later on. I'll try to get as much as I can. Thanks. Oh, but you don't need to worry so much about me. I chose this life for myself anyway. And your wallet wouldn't last if I started extorting you, right? I have to be serious about my plan. I can't let myself take advantage of Kasai's wallet forever. I think I'm going to start a part-time job. I have to earn my own living. It's the life I chose, so naturally, I have to take care of it myself. That's reassuring to hear. But are you sure? If you go outside, eventually someone in the family will discover you. I gave that a little thought, which is why I'll need Mion's help. Kasai, would you mind calling the main house for me? When Mion answers, pass me the receiver. Ah well, whatever you say. What could be your plan? Kasai dialed the number. It's funny to me that we're calling the main house, even though that's the place I most want to avoid at the moment. Hello. Good morning. Is this Mion-san? It's been a while. This is Kasai. Yes. Good morning. Could you hold for a moment? I'm letting someone else on the phone. I take the handset. Hello? Hehe. Can you tell who this is? That voice! But that can't be true. Shion's still supposed to be confined to St. Lucia's. You can't be her. Yeah, they forbid outside calls at the academy. But you're talking to me right now. Even my dim-witted older sister should understand what that means. Did you Sneak out of the school? Oh, how? That's not important. I really missed you, sis. G. Shion. That was as far as I could take it, and Mion had hit her limit too. Oh god. She's gone mad. We both burst into laughter, unable to keep up our act. It's been a while since we laughed out loud with each other like this. It's been forever, Shion. Seriously, what's happened with you? It's not much else to it. I haven't lied or anything. Wait, then you really ran away? Oh, great job. The security wasn't tight enough to keep me locked up in there. Yeah. Maybe the school should be grateful you escaped quietly. If you're serious, it'd be easy for you to blow up the whole building to make you escape. Well, I couldn't have done that, but I might have set it on fire. Kasai smiled at us in amazement, his face a blend of amusement and exasperation. It's okay to talk to you now. It's alright. Granny is out for a lesson. She's coming home later in the evening. That's good. We should get together and talk soon. Just over the phone for today, though. Okay. Did anybody report my escape to our grandmother? Nope. We've heard nothing. I pass along all the calls and guests for the main family now, so no news reaches Granny without going through me. I'm sure she doesn't know. Wow. That's awesome. You really sound like the next leader of the Sonozaki family. You know I don't like that. You should have taken my place. You're the one with the demon, aren't you? Well, keep giving it your all. I'll be rooting for you from the shadows. Anyway, that's not important now. Aha! Sounds so indifferent. Well, that's okay, I guess. If you hear anything about me, give Kasai a call, okay? I'd like to give you my number here, but I'll keep it secret for the time being. Sorry. Alright. If Granny hears you fled the school, there'll be all kinds of trouble. I'll be on the lookout for now. And I'll let Kasai-san know if something happens. Thanks. I also have a favour to ask. I figured you would. Oh, money's out of the question, okay? I never thought I could pester you for money. I just want to ask you for a little help with my part-time job. I see. So that's it then. What exactly do you need? We can communicate fast in a situation like this. We don't have to get into details because we know what's on each other's minds. Uncle Yashiro's on my side, isn't he? I'm going to try and see if I can get a part-time job at one of the businesses he owns. Then I'll call you when I know my shift. So I just have to disappear while you're working, right? That's a little taxing. What are you saying, sis? You're turning down your only sister's request. Seriously? Alright, I'll do it. I want to see how you retaliate if I turn you down. Ah, thanks. I'll buy you a cake from Schlanker Bertha's. Schlanker? I'll throw in tons of pretty tarts too. Shion. Schlanker Bertha closed last fall. Huh? Is that so? Yeah. The owner had a stroke. He reopened the store once, but he got sick again. So he had to shut it down. I see. That's a shame. I won't be able to eat the Mont Blanc cakes to my heart's content anymore. I was disappointed that my favourite cake shop had closed down, but more so that this town had changed without my knowing while I was gone. It was kind of regrettable. Are there any other changes I don't know about? Yeah, there are some. I'll tell you when we meet up next time. Thanks. I'll tell you about my school life. Let's set a date. I'll call you. Alright. I'll see you then. Mion? What is it? How are you? I'm fine. I'm glad to hear that. I'm hanging up now. Okay. See you. She got to talk to her sister already. It's really been a while since I last talked to her. I put down the phone and heaved a sigh as Kasai brought in some tea. So how'd it go? Do you remember Uncle Yashiro, who was in favour of me staying? I'll talk to him about my escape, and ask him if he can hire me to work at one of his stores. You sure? Some other relative might find out. That's why I asked Sis a favour. I'll contact her when my shift is set, and she'll disappear while I'm working. Did you get the picture? Kasai looked puzzled. It's not really that difficult to grasp. It's simple. If somebody finds me at work, I'll tell them that I'm Mion, so they're gonna switch. Do you get it now? Normal people wouldn't buy this kind of plan. But Kasai knows too well how easy it is for my sis and me to trade places. That's audacious, or shrewd, I should say. I'm impressed. Is that a compliment, Kasai? Kasai looked amazed. If things go south, it'll affect him too. Considering the rules of my dad's profession, he won't be able to get away with just a mere apology. That's why he doesn't want me to do anything too risky. I think I have to make it up to him, since he helped me escape even knowing that risk. Ooh. Alright, no problem. If I find somebody talking bad about you, I'll beat them up. Ah, thank you so much. I knew I could rely on you, Uncle Yashiro. Uncle Yashiro pounded his chest with his fist after offering me his assurance. He seemed glad that I turned to him first. I'd be happy to help, since I'm so impressed that you're trying to support yourself. If we were here for money, I'd turn you in to your grandmother right away. What? You're scaring me, Uncle. Ha! I knew he was reliable. He understood my situation straight away and promised to help. Manager, here's the shift chart. I'll put it here. One of the store clerks brought out a work schedule. There are many things I'm unfamiliar with written on it. So, how much can you work? That depends on our respective schedules. Hope I can get in when I want to. Hey, that sounds a little irresponsible, but I know you're in a difficult situation. I'm dependent on Mion for my work. Our schedules have to match. Of course, Uncle Yashiro understood that, but he also knew he couldn't afford a selfish part-timer who only works when she wants to. In the end, he decided to hire me as an office helper, not an official worker. As a temp, I wouldn't have a work schedule. My uncle also decided to pay me out of his own pocket. Ha! It's fine as long as I can make enough to support myself. Sure. Expect to get what I'm paying for, okay? And don't call me uncle in the office either. Alright, manager. Thanks for hiring me. Good, you get it. Once all the business talk was over, my uncle hounded me with all kinds of questions. He asked me things like, what was it like in a prestigious girls' boarding school? And so on. Yeah, I get it. Apparently there were all kinds of rumours going around about the St. Lucia Academy I was confined to, and everyone was curious about it. I added a few embellishments of my own as I explained how unordinary life at that school was. My uncle looked extremely delighted to hear all the little details about life in a secret garden for girls. Horny bastard. Yeah, I was gonna say. Once my uncle was satisfied, it was my turn to ask all kinds of questions. I wanted to know if anything peculiar had happened while I was gone. I won't be able to act like Mion unless I can fill in the gap of information left in the past 2 years. There haven't been many big changes. It's been quiet since the end of the dam conflict. I went to the academy only a bit after they froze the project. There was still a bit of tension then. Even after they shut down construction, things were still tense because the project wasn't entirely cancelled. But the Onikafuchi Guardians disbanded about a year later. There was a big ceremony held at the shrine. That's when the dam conflict officially ended. That's right after I was imprisoned. Is everybody slacking now that the conflict's over? I guess you all had fun playing at war back then, during the damn protests, didn't you? Try to imagine how much suffering the adults went through every time they had to come pick up their kids from the police station. I can imagine. Well, I can't deny that. It's like a festival for us. Uncle Yashiro seemed exasperated at how differently kids and adults treated the conflict. Oh yeah, it was that dismemberment murder, wasn't there? The one where that fucking jerk of a construction manager got split into pieces. They still haven't caught the culprit behind that, have they? Did they finally catch him? Ah, come to think of it, I don't think they've caught him yet, no. Happened on the night of Watanagashi, didn't it? I remember everyone making a fuss about it being Oishiro-sama's curse. That was pretty scary for us kids. Yeah, Oishiro-sama's curse. That happened the year after too. That's right. That was scary too, wasn't it? Who was it again? That guy who supported the dam died in an accident, right? Hojo, wasn't it? And it happened on the day of Watanagashi once again. Everyone went crazy, saying it had to be a curse. That was horrifying. Definitely. Oh, bit of blood. The construction manager that everyone hated was killed and dismembered on the night of Watanagashi. That instant, on its own, was more than intense enough for us kids. Worse, part of his body was never found, which made it almost a ghost story amongst us. We seriously believed that the severed right arm was roaming in search of the body it belonged to. It didn't take long for the rumour of Oishiro-sama's curse to become a topic of discussion among occult researchers and the like, considering the circumstantial factors. Even so, the rumour faded away after about a year. After the dam project was officially frozen, we held Watanagashi purely as a festival. But the curse struck again. The victim was a pro-dam activist who lived in Hinamizawa by the name of Hojo. He and his wife were on a trip when they fell from a cliff to their deaths. It was considered an accident. Yeah, Sadako and Satoshi's parents. Technically, police were still searching for the wife's body. If I remember right, they never did find it, did they? Once again, the man most worthy of Oishiro-sama's curse fell victim on the night of the Watanagashi festival. So the fuss of Oishiro-sama's curse rose up again. Until then, Oishiro-sama wasn't considered very important. At least in the world of us kids, it was just the name of the object of worship in the shrine, nothing more than that. I'd seen boys peeing on the archway, and I once stuck my hand into the offertory box. The existence of a god didn't matter much to us. Why were all the kids in this town such little shits? Stealing, peeing on religious things, you know. But after 2 consecutive occurrences, the kids no longer doubted the existence of a curse. We were all shaken in fear of Oishiro-sama. Everybody suddenly became interested in the old stories about him too. We quietly listened to the musty old stories the elders had to tell. We started genuinely believing in the tales of Oishiro-sama's miracles, which any of us would have laughed away before. Oishiro-sama's rules were awfully simple and clear. Enemies treading into Hinamizawa will be cursed. Villagers leaving the village will be cursed. What defined the village was terribly vague. Were we never allowed to leave Hinamizawa village? Was going to Okinomiya still safe? Well, seeing as it's Hinamizawa village, you might think, that would be the thing. Was a single step enough to be out? Was a 3-day, 2-night hot spring trip still safe? We kids tried to draw a line. Okay, that's fair enough. How long can you be out of the village? It was decided in the end that if you had a house in Hinamizawa or Okinomiya, you were safe. And it was okay to go on trips if you had a house in either area. Well, I know it's weird, but those rules were made up by kids after all. According to those rules, I'd be cursed since I lived at a boarding school in such a remote area. I couldn't say it out loud because I felt embarrassed, but in fact I was a little scared of the curse. Yeah, it happened again the year after. It's sure scary when it happens 2 years in a row. I still believe in Oishiro-sama's power. Shion-chan, what are you saying? Don't you know? No. But what? Oh right, you went to that school before it happened. That's why you don't know. Uncle Yoshiro grimaced as if he said too much. So he'd mentioned something I shouldn't know about. What is it? You can't leave me hanging like that. Well, I think you're mature enough now. Hey, if you think my body looks underdeveloped, you should see an eye doctor. Either that or you're a pedo. Yeah, she's, pretty huge. Okay, I'll talk. It happened again the year after that. What happened? What are you talking about? Tick. And I was very little. I always had this tick before I heard something bad. It was like a gnome who lived inside me was giving me a warning. A gnome? Like he was poking me with a small needle. When I felt this tick before my parents called me, they'd always either chide me or tell me something bad. So I used to run away when I felt it. But my senses seemed to have grown dull over the years. Even though my gnome poked at me, I just sat there. It happened. Again the year after the death of the Hojos. Last year, in other words. Did it? Happened on the day of Watanagashi? Again? 3 years in a row? That's right. You know there's a shrine in Hinamizawa? The Fuda shrine? The priest suddenly died on the night of the festival. Rika's father. They said that the cause of death was an unknown illness, and the same night his wife threw herself into the swamp. Yeah, that is Rika's parents, right? I know it's Fuda, and that's her, but anyway. There's a big uproar. The mayor even had to hold an emergency meeting. Oh, that's a weird place to end. To end the chapter part. The mid-chapter. But, I'm liking the size, the chunks that we're getting for our episodes so far. They're all at about the 20-minute mark, so I'm liking that. Eventually, I'm pretty sure it'll grow to, usually there's the odd episode that goes up to 40-odd minutes, sometimes even an hour. And I actually have to stop myself and go for a break for 5 minutes, and get my voice back, have a drink, breathe. But so far, it's been good. I've enjoyed the length of the episode so far. Anyway, this has been Greeny XI. Hope you've enjoyed Chapter 2 so far. I'll see you again in a bit when we see exactly how Shion reacts to the fact that there's been 3 years in a row. And because this is the year before Keiichi comes along, there have only been 3 curse years so far. The 4th one, well, we already know it's going to happen this year because we know from when Keiichi's around that there's 4 years in a row before he arrives. So there's going to be one happening this year as well. And we'll see how that goes once we start getting towards it. That hasn't started yet. The fact that we're starting to learn of the curse, Oishiro-sama's curse, is fact that it's going to start getting darker soon, I think. Maybe not quite yet. Maybe she has to meet her mates and stuff first. I don't know. I don't really know how it's going to work out. But anyways, again, this has been Greeny XI. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in a bit for the rest of Chapter 2, I assume. See you in a bit, folks.